Hello, divas, diamond stars, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Femininity with Mama Gail. Today, let's talk about put in the work. We must put in the work in our relationships, just like we do at our job, except putting in the work in a relationship should not be as strenuous as what you do on your job. The things that you are passionate about. If you're passionate about your job, it will just flow with ease, but you put in the work to do what needs to be done to make it work, to make it successful, to put you in a place of being, exceptional, excellent in what you do, being the choice, the chosen, the high ranking in the position that you are in. We put in work every day of our lives. Those of us who are aspiring to be great artists, we put in the work every day. We put in the work consistently. We put in the work. Those of us who are working on degrees, associates, masters, bachelors, doctrine, whatever the degree is, you put in the work consistently so that you can achieve something. You get where I'm going. When we get into relationships, from the dating phase, from the getting to know phase, really, there's work to be put into this potential of what it could be. If I have a goal and I'm looking for a spouse, a husband, if I have a goal and I'm looking for a long-term relationship to see where it is going, if I have a goal to date someone for a couple of months, maybe I'm not looking for commitment, but just the consistency of being in a relationship. You put in the work. From the time you meet somebody, there's putting in of work. I call you, you call me. I text you, you text me. We put in the work to keep this thing afloat, hoping, praying, looking forward to, expecting, investing in what it is that we hope to achieve and receive out of this thing. Putting in the work. It's easy to look at something from the outside. You want to be an artist. It's easy to see yourself, to visualize yourself singing. You know you have a great voice, a melodious voice. You know that you are gifted with this gift. You know that you can move a crowd. You know that your art is beautiful, it's spectacular. You see it hanging in galleries and things of that nature where you are. Same with a relationship. We'll see the relationship. I'm looking for this man. I prayed for this man. I've called him forth. I've spoken him into life. I've built this man. I've scripted this man. I've journaled this man. The law of attraction worked fast. It took me years and things of that nature, or whatever it was, for you to get what it was that you have your eye on as your goal. Now it's time to do the work. Seeing it without having it is easier than when you actually have the thing. In a relationship, some of us have cried. We have prayed. We have begged. We have said, Lord, I'm ready. Like, where is my mate? Why am I lonely? I'm so alone. Now you have this gift of a potential, of a commitment. You're dating. You're in a marriage. You just got married. You've been married 10, 15 years. You long-term marriage. But you've forgotten that you have to put in the work to consistently keep it afloat. We get comfortable in things once we get it. And this is how you lose things, by getting comfortable. You have to keep things going, afloat, consistent when you have it and when you don't have it. Set things into motion when you don't have it, so that when you have it, you're keeping it consistently flowing and you move right into position, putting in the work to keep things, to accept things, to receive the things that you want out of what it is that you're investing in. We don't put in the work once we get the gentleman. Oh, I got him now. You don't say that, but this is how you act. I'm going to Stop wearing lingerie and stop setting date nights with him and stop, doing what I know turns him on. Stop being consistent in taking care of myself, getting my hair and my nails and my toes and dressing beautifully and, wearing little two-piece sets to bed. And now I have this big flannel pajamas, wearing rollers to bed and not caring, how I look walking around the house instead of keeping it sexy and attractive no matter how many years that you've been married to this gentleman. Just because you are with someone consistently, they know all about you, it does not mean that you don't have to put in the work to keep things consistent, keep things happy, keep things spicy, keep things sparked up, keep things afire, ablazed, beautifully flowing. You have the power to do that. Put in the work. Putting in the work also means being willing to compromise. Now, you're into a new relationship. There are things about him that you are not going to like. There are things about you that he is not going to like. He can't stand. He may have shared with you some things that his ex may have done that, turned him off, things he didn't like. You do these things, but you got him now. He's either going to deal with it, roll with the punches, or oh well. But when you lose him, and when he finds somebody else who doesn't do the thing that he already told you that he did not like, you had this gentleman, but you refused to change and flow right into the footsteps of something he already walked away from because you weren't willing to put in the work. People have to compromise. It's a give and take. And not saying that you are the only one to put in the work, because the work has to be done on both parts. It has to be mutual. It has to be a relationship. It has to be something where the two of you are working on this thing. But you have the power, young lady, to keep it spicy, to keep it juicy, to keep it delicious, to keep him coming home, loving to come home. You keep your house clean. You keep things in order. Not allowing him, after you get him, for him to come around, you got a sink full of dishes. You have things all over the floor. You have clothes piled up in a chair in a corner. Whereas when he was getting to know you, you were orderly, kept things consistently, picked up things to impress him. Keep the momentum going. Put in the work. Putting in the work means when the two of you bump heads and you don't agree on something, you're the bigger person to say, babe, let's talk this out. Keep the communication open, because men can be very stubborn. And if you are in a house together, living together, in a relationship, even if you're not living together, you keep the communication open, because when the communication is shut down, everything else is going to fall apart until you guys decide to open up and communicate. Put in the work. Putting in the work means whatever needs to be done to make this happen, to reach this goal, to get the success in life, to keep our house happy, to keep us in a good space, in a good place, growing together. If this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with, I'm going to make him happy for the rest of his life. When I married him, I treated him like the king that he is. 20, 30 years later, keep continuing to treat him like a king, the king that he is. Even when he doesn't treat you like the queen that you are, because you're making it work, you're putting in the work. Something will click in his head sooner or later, and he'll begin after some time to appreciate and celebrate, and my wife this, and my wife that, my queen this, and my queen that. And it may not happen right off the door, but because you are consistently putting in the work, representing yourself as the queen, looking like the queen, acting like the queen that you are, being willing to compromise to please him, things of that nature. You put in the work and it's been effective. He's going to come back, remember, soak in all of that, clicks in, my wife, the love of my life, my heart, my queen, consistently put in the work. And also, this is the last thing I'm going to say, being consistent. When you are consistent and things aren't going always in your favor, things aren't going always the way that you want it to go, things aren't always what they seem, there's a rough patch, it looks like things are going to fall apart, and you consistently put in the work. Not saying that you have to be the one who's always giving. You have to be the one who's always investing. You have to be the one who's always doing the work. Like I said, putting in the work takes two. But when you are consistent at what you do, when you know that this is already here, there's no potential, he's not cheating, he's not running around, he's not looking for anything else, you just reached a dry patch, put in the work to spice up, to keep a spark, to keep the fire burning. He'll appreciate it, and so will you. And in that time when you could have and should have walked away and broken up, you'll find that years later you're still together because you chose to put in the work. Put in the work, young lady, with your feminine cute self. This is Femininity with Mama Gail. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a blessed and prosperous day, divas, diamonds, dolls, ladies, and gentlemen.